That's it. We're live.
We're on.
So, Elliot Turner project. Going to do a quick intro for anyone that hasn't listened to the last podcast where we went deep.
Me intro.
Yeah. I'll let you do your own intro, mate.
Perfect. Elliot Turner, owner of the project in Chesterfield since 2017, and been doing CrossFit since 2014. So 10, 11 years. Long enough.
Long enough to have seen a few opens. So have you been doing CrossFit that long? Have you been doing the open that long as well then, I guess?
10 opens, yeah. 10. I missed it in the year I started, yeah. I started too late. The open had been and gone.
Right, so that's good then, I guess, because you hear a lot of people that start CrossFit and then open comes along and they're like, oh, I'll have a crack at that. At least you've got about a few months.
Yeah. Well, I watched the games in 2014, and that's then what inspired me to go and have a go.
Cool. So before we go into, I guess, getting into that then, thinking of all the opens with the exception of this year, what's been your favourite open workout? I think I know what you're going to say.
19.1.
I knew you were going to say it. Loves a wall ball.
Wall balls and rowing, mate. 15 minutes wall balls and rowing. That's my best ever performance in the open.
Oh, is it? What, in terms of a singular finish?
Yeah. I think so. I don't know exactly where I finished, but yeah, that's my best ever finish by far. I remember doing that. I think that might have been my first open, and I remember doing it at Old Project. I think you and Reese were doing it, and I was like, just trying not to get sucked in because I was no capacity to get anywhere near either on you. And it was one of them where when you see people going, you can't help but, even if you're going slower, you're still going too fast. And I remember like almost pointing my rower the other way. I wanted nothing to do with it. Yeah. I did that in lifters, you know. Did you?
I wore lifters for that,
Well, I suppose rowing at wall balls, it doesn't necessarily matter, does it? But yeah, no, that's by far my favourite open workout, just because it was good for me. So,
well, yeah, you're not going to like pick a workout that weren't good for you, are you?
No.
And let's do that then. So I think I know this one as well. And what would you say the worst open workout's been?
The worst open workout.
In fact, let's do that twofold. Let's take worst in terms of for you personally, and then worst in terms of 10 minutes on floor after absolutely dying.
So the worst workout for me personally would probably be I don't know what year it was now. They repeated it at the games, but heavier. But it was 10 rounds of like 35 double unders, 9 thrusters, I think. And that was terrible. My double unders aren't the most reliable thing in the world, and doing 10 rounds with 350 double unders and thrusters was not good for me. I think I redid that workout like 3 times in 4 days and must have chucked many skipping ropes. Many. It wasn't nothing to do with me, obviously. It was all about the skipping rope.
Oh, of course, mate.
Yeah. And then the worst workout in terms of the feeling, I suppose, afterwards was it 15.5? Was it 15.5? The rowing and thrusters, 27, 21, 15, 9. Yeah, that was.
I don't know what it were, but I remember you telling me about that workout.
That was bad. Yeah, that was a shoes off at the end, like that kind of job. Yeah, that was a rough one.
I thought you were going to say your worst one with the wall walks and double unders.
Oh, that was bad as well. Yeah, that was bad, and that was bad because obviously that was COVID. That was do it on your own job. That was miserable. Yeah. I remember doing that in the gym on my own. That was a lonely experience for 15 minutes or whatever it was.
Yeah, but at least you didn't have to deal with anyone because of that nonsense lockdown shit. So at least you're on your own.
Yeah, there is that.
Right, so that's a bit of open history from the point of view of Elliot. So then let's move on to 25.2. So obviously last week we reviewed 25.1 with Yatesy. This week we've got you for 25.2, and we're going to do it like sort of twofold a little bit. So we'll talk about the workout itself, but talk about it from a project point of view as well. So we'll start there. This is like going to test my interviewing skills actually, because I'm going to be asking you questions, some of which I know the answers to. So we're going to have to make sure I do a good job here. So help me out a bit. So what do project do for the Open each year?
So we have 3 teams. 3 teams, basically 2 coaches per team. They're like, I don't know, team leaders, team captains, whatever you want to call them. So me and SJ have got a team. Fletch and Nathan have got a team, and then Molly and Chris have got a team. And then we divide people up. People put their name in the hat if they want to get stuck in, get involved. If they're going to be in on a Friday doing the workout or across the weekend. And then we split the teams up as even as we can to make it like a bit of a fair race across the 3 weeks. And then we basically have our own project leaderboard, male leaderboard, female leaderboard. Everyone scores points depending on where they rank and where they finish and what level they do the workout. So obviously it's RX, scaled, or foundation with the official CrossFit Games. We have 3 levels in our workouts on a regular basis. So we have compete, train, sweat. So they just marry up perfectly. So we just call it compete, train, sweat. Everyone puts the score in Boxmate, transfers across to our leaderboard, and then each week we just spit out a winning first, second, third team for that week, and then obviously like this week we'll have 2 scores added together to give an overall leaderboard at the end kind of thing. So and my team are 3 points in the lead after week 1, so pretty happy.
I was in your team. First time I've been in your team this year. Normally you come last, don't you?
Yeah. No, we won last year. Last year. Yeah. I've started manipulating the teams a bit.
You got it, mate.
I'm joking. That's why I'm doing, mate. Obviously,
Oh yeah, drafted me, mate. I'm good for 1 workout in Open every year, and that's about it.
Yeah, 25.1. I need him in my team.
I've not done much for you this year in this workout with my single unders and jumping pull-ups, so mate.
Well, you never know, mate. You never know.
No, I'd like to think I'll be like top of the shit, but so in terms of like the day, then, so project, obviously every Project 60 class on the Friday is the Open workout, isn't it? So how does that work for you then? Because you've obviously, the workout gets announced, it's pretty late on Thursday by the time it's been announced and all the sort of all the stuff's been. Yeah, it is me, mate. I have to stay up. Like, it's a nightmare for me. Like, staying up that late. I'm with you. So like, and then you have a class at 5:30 the next morning. Yeah. So talk me through that process from like, you're talking 9 o'clock till 5:30. You've got to get everything ready and figure it out. And you're not necessarily in on that Friday morning. So how do you make that work?
So with great difficulty. One, keep your fingers crossed the workout isn't too logistically challenging. And that was my first panic on week 1, actually, when I first saw the workout announced before I'd actually read through any of the stuff. I saw 30-foot walking lunge. I thought, oh no, not a 30-foot walking lunge. I thought that can't be in a Wanner. It can't be in a Wanner, because I'm just thinking space-wise, that is an absolute disaster. And then obviously it was there and back, so 15 foot. So I was like, it's not so bad kind of thing. So yeah, workout goes in Boxmate, and then whoever's coaching in the morning, I get in touch with them and I try and basically give a timeline. Our 5:30 class is mental. Like the number of people that show up for that in the morning is mad, and that's not just for the Open. That's like year round. Like average probably anywhere between like 28 and 24 people at 5:30 every morning. So to get that many people through an Open workout, particularly like 25.1, where there's some like displacement of people, where they're physically moving a distance, it becomes logistically a little bit complicated. So it's just a case of getting that in as soon as possible. I try and get a floor layout to the coach as well, so they know exactly how to lay it out. And then format for us is people basically just pair up after the brief. One person does the workout in the first half of the class. So there's a warm up into the workout, and then the second half of the class, they basically just flip flop. So whoever judged counted in the first, they then work out. The person who worked out judges and counts for them, kind of thing. But our 5:30 class then rolls into our 6:30 interval class pretty much straight away. So the timeline for us is really important to be done and finished on time, particularly in the morning when like people are wanting to get off to work and stuff like that. So yeah, it's one of them. You kind of keep your fingers crossed and hope that the workout comes out and it's something that you can facilitate in an hour with your space for that volume of people. And luckily we've done all right for these first 2. Just thankfully that wasn't a 30-foot lunge with 2 dumbbells, one of each.
Do you think that it's, I don't know, it's a pretty difficult question to answer, but do you think when CrossFitter programming or Dave's programming the Open, do you think he has half an eye on making it sort of achievable for affiliates that are going to be maybe putting classes through it? Because like you'd like to think so, wouldn't you, given that the affiliates are what are really required to make it or ticket in this year, especially paying the prize money. So do you think he has half an eye on it?
You'd like to think so, wouldn't you? You'd like to think so. And I definitely think over the last few years, there's definitely been more consideration. They've definitely been a lot friendlier than previous years. Like, I don't know, like some years comes out and it's like a 20-minute AMRAP and you're like, how am I going to get that? 2 heats of that in a 60-minute timeline with a brief, with a warm-up. Like, it's just nigh on impossible. Do you know what I mean? Without cutting corners. It's just nigh on it. Whereas I think definitely for the last few years, there's been a little bit more consideration. Or I don't know, I'm trying to think of a workout with a good example of a workout. Like in previous years, they've done like an ascending ladder. You have to get so far into the workout, then you unlock like another 4 minutes. Like, I mean, that is a logistical nightmare because you don't know how far anyone's going to get. Like, because obviously they've got the levels. Like, if someone like overscales the workout, they could be doing that work. I can't remember exactly. It was like a double under toes to bar squat clean ladder. Like, someone could get like to the 20th minute of that workout. Everyone else could have finished at 8 minutes. Yeah, I don't know, but yeah. So I definitely think in recent years there's been some consideration, and there might have been back then, but I don't know. From my point,
weren't very good if it was.
Yeah, from my point of view, it just makes it a little bit challenging. Yeah.
So in terms of this workout itself, then obviously we're a repeat from 2022. What do you think of the workout? I guess you can lean on your experience from it last time or this time, but as a workout, how do you think it rates?
Yeah, it's a great workout. It's a great workout. It's not a good workout for me, but it's a great workout. Yeah. Again, I mean the double unders. I remember 3 years ago. I remember vividly watching it and thinking, the double unders are like, I don't know, they're just pointless. There's not enough of them. Do you know what I mean? To make it like the numbers are so small. So, and again, obviously it's the same workout. It almost feels the same for people that are proficient at double unders, I suppose. If double unders are going to be a sticking point for you, then obviously it's not the case. So everyone's perspective is always going to be a little bit different, I suppose. But yeah, I think it's a good workout. I love the fact, obviously now and saying back then, that there's kind of 3 levels, so it's everyone can kind of do it. And the foundation level is pretty much accessible to anyone with the jumping pull-up, jumping chest to bar. So you manage to get everyone through the workout, and regardless of what level you're doing it at, you get a good session in.
Yeah, I found it like a really good workout. I did but for the benefit of the show, I did the middle scale. So I was like jumping pull-ups. And like for me, the chest to bar was challenging and the final thruster weight were challenging. But I got a really good workout in pacing, having to make sure I paced myself early when the bar was lighter and stuff. So I got a really good stimulus from it. I enjoyed it. Like it was good.
Yeah, it's a good workout, and I think the middle round is the 18, because obviously, like, I mean, it's a variant of Fran, let's call it, which is 21-15-9. Obviously, the 21-18-15 gives it that extra little bit of like, it makes you think twice, if you know what I mean. Well, again, perspective wise, it makes me think twice. Do you know what I mean? Whereas if it's 21-15-9, I'm probably thinking a little less and just going a little harder. Yeah. I suppose that's what the guys that are doing in 4 minutes feel like. They're just not thinking. they're just throwing at it. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So in terms of you personally then, so I obviously saw you go at it Friday. So do you want to talk us through your performance and the workout on Friday? It looked good until it didn't, mate. It looked good until it didn't.
What happened on Friday? I don't know. I mean, so just a bit of context. So 3 years ago, I did 7:57. So that was my time 3 years ago, which I don't know. It's an all right time. I went all right. I don't know. Obviously, 3 years ago, I've no idea how I did it. Like, broke it up, anything like that. How did I strategize it? Because like I say, for me, it's not a workout where I can just like go at it without thinking about it with like reckless abandon and just hope for the best. Because I could hope all I want, but it's not going to go well. And then Friday came round and I was a bit like, right, I don't know. I just I just didn't pull my big boy pants on. I don't think. I just thought, you know what, you know what I'm like. I like to have a bit of a strategy and a bit of a plan, and I think I just over strategized it, and like I broke it up more than I needed to, and then I just ran out of time. And then I knew when I got to that last barbell, I was never going to beat my time from 3 years ago. And then mentally, I just had absolutely nothing between the ears. Like, it just all drained out of me. I was like, oh no, I'm not going to beat it. Like, in hindsight, I shouldn't have thought like that, because that score from 3 years ago, in the grand scheme of the leaderboard, doesn't matter. But to me, that's important. Like, I like to repeat workouts, and I like to go faster or do more reps. And that's my little checkpoint. Every time I do one, I'm like, did I do that? And obviously on Friday, I definitely didn't tick the box. I went 40 seconds slower, which was a little bit of a disappointment, to say the least.
Yeah, you weren't very happy.
I weren't best happy about it. So that's been on my mind all weekend. So
that means then, and this is interesting for me, because I know you've redone it today, but I don't know how you went. So how have we gone on today?
I mean, I wouldn't usually. I can't remember, especially in like the last 4 or 5 years, I've not really ever done redone an open workout, unless like something's gone drastically wrong. But obviously the change of format this year, and obviously only the top 1% then go through to the like what they're calling it now, like semi-finals or whatever the online limits. Obviously before it was 10%, so there was kind of no pressure. You got into quarterfinals, and then from there, that's where the event really started. And after what was, again, not a great performance on week 1, put me under a bit of pressure this week. So basically I had to redo it today. 1, the pressure of I wanted to go quicker than 8:37, obviously. 2, I'm trying to get in the top 1%. And 3, I hate the fact that I didn't beat my time from 3 years ago. So it was all mounting up. So I was like, right, I'm just going to go at it. Hope for the best. And I went 7:51 today. So
nice, buzzing.
Yeah, it's pretty.
And what did you do then today? What did you do different?
So again, a little bit of context. So on Friday, like I said, probably over strategized it. I broke the thrusters on the 40 into 3 sets with a really short break, just trying to take the pressure off a little bit, get rid of some of that tension. Pull-ups, chest to bar, both unbroken. I then did the 50 kilo bar in 3 sets, again with a really short break, like managed on the clock kind of thing, like 3 to 5 seconds. And then started the bar muscle ups, did the last set of bar muscle ups, and that was the point where I was like, oh no, like I've gone way too slow here. And then obviously you saw on Friday, like I strapped my belt on for that 60 kilo, like watch this, I'm gonna go unbroken, and I think I did 5 down. And I was like, oh no, it's no good. So today I just thought, right, I'm just going to go at it. Like I felt all right on the bar muscles when I got there on Friday. So I did the pull-ups, the thrusters unbroken on the first set. I did the chest to bar, and then the thrusters in 2 sets on the 50. And then I got to the bar muscle-ups. I did them in 3 sets like I did on Friday. Panicked a little bit because I was like, might have gone out a bit too hot here. Like I was like scrapping a little bit with them. And then got to the barbell in good time to beat it, and then it was just a case of get those reps done to go sub 7:57. But again, that was a little bit of a wrestle at the end. The old triceps were starting to give out in that overhead position. So there's a couple of pauses in the front right before getting down into that squat and the press. But we got there. 6 seconds, mate. 6 seconds in 3 years. So I'll take it. 2 seconds a year, 3 years older.
Yeah, and what 38 seconds or 38 seconds-ish fitter than you were on Friday.
I thought you were going to say I was 38 then.
Oh no! I know you're much younger than that. So that's a pretty good performance, and you're happy. I know the first one you only got to do once, and that was pretty late in the day. Do you think you'd have gone any faster on, or got any more reps on 25.1 if you'd had an opportunity to feel a bit better? For context, you'd had a big weekend, hadn't you?
Yeah, I did a fair few panda pops over the weekend, so that didn't go down well. I'd been skiing for 4 days and had a few too many beers and a few too many pizzas. So I flew back on the Monday morning and then pretty much straight to the gym and hit 25.1. So preparation was relatively poor, to be honest.
And like we said, mate, a minute ago, it weren't a sort of workout where you can ease into, where it were like there's nowhere to hide.
Nowhere to hide. You just had to keep moving. And like we mentioned it before, obviously you came back and redid it, and luckily, well, lucky or not lucky, you were like, "I'll do it with you." I was like, "Oh, great, here we go." Like he's going to try and kick the man while he's down.
I did try.
yeah. I know you did. Yeah. And to be honest, like I said to you, like if you hadn't have done that, I'd probably not even got the score I managed to get then. The only reason I got the score I got then was because I cannot let Steve Beckett beat me on the
You know, there's a weird compliment in there. Like, I don't know what it is.
Regardless of the situation, I'm gonna keep him just in touching distance, and then about 4 or 5 minutes from the end, I'm gonna start to turn the screw a little bit, regardless of how shit I feel.
It got a bit tighter than that, though.
Yeah. Oh yeah, it got tight.
Imagine the embarrassment, mate, you'd have had knowing if I'd have beat you, watching me do jumping pull-ups this week, you'd have been like,
I wouldn't have done this. I wouldn't have done it.
You'd have retired.
I'd have withdrawn. It'd
have been the only way to, mate. It would have been the only way to bow out. To be fair, I think it would have retired you. But yeah, like you said, you kept me in eyesight, and then just relied on your grit and me to blow up because I went way too far.
As soon as you put your hands on your knees, I thought, right, this is my moment.
So go on, mate. Sorry.
Go on, yeah. So that obviously wasn't great, and then this week Friday wasn't great, and then today's been better. So yeah, hoping and praying for a better week 3, I suppose.
Yeah, well, that's what I'm going to go into now. So what do we want to? Well, I guess I'll ask this in 2 ways. What do you want to see for you to solidify your 1%? But then also, what do we think it needs to be in order for it to be a great test over the course of the Open itself? Because given that there are no quarters where there is always the ability to wean people out that maybe have got through by fitness alone and maybe don't have the skill and don't have the strength. What do we need to see in week 3 for it to be a full rounded test to progress to the semi? So I'll start with the first bit. Like, what do you want to see for you personally to stay up there?
I don't think that's coming up. That'd be nice. So I don't know. What would I like to see? I mean, there's got to be I'm crossing everything that there's a rowing machine. There's got to be. I'm hoping there has to be a machine of some description. So that'll obviously be a rower. And then we've not pulled from the floor yet. So I'm assuming again it'll be all right for me, like a deadlift or I don't know. Will there be a power snatch maybe or a snatch? Again, that'll be good for me as well. So. And something a little bit heavier, like whether it's ascending in loading rounds or it's a kind of moderate heavy barbell for the rep scheme. Again, that'd be good for me. So yeah, rower and a relatively heavy barbell it'd be nice, mate. It'd be nice. It'd help me out a little bit.
And then if we don't think selfishly, any other movements you think we need in there to make it a well-rounded test over the 3 workouts?
So it's like a prediction.
Yeah. I guess. I'm wondering if we need any handstand push-ups or.
Yeah, I think the format has definitely changed this year. You can see a definite difference, like what we mentioned there, with there being no quarterfinals, with the opportunity to then remove some people from it with skill and heavier barbells and stuff like that. I think the Open this year, obviously, the first workout was like the usual kind of 0.1 workout, like accessible to pretty much everyone. A lot of people, I'm sure, if you looked at it, probably did the RX version compared to like the scaled and the foundation version. And then obviously that started to shift in week 2. Like we've seen 22.3, which was the final week in 2022. We've seen that move forward into workout 2 of this year, which I think again is like a perfect example of like the season, let's call it, changing.
Yeah.
So yeah, I don't know. Like, will we see like an inversion, so like a handstand push up or wall walk or like a handstand walk? I don't think we'll see a handstand walk. I think again that's probably something that will come up in kind of the semi-finals. And then yeah, to be honest, mate, like I said, what I want for me, I think that might come up as well. I think either a one-parter with a row deadlift, potentially a handstand variant, and if it's a one-parter with an ascending load on the deadlift across rounds, so the load kind of increases, or it'll be a heavy barbell from the start, or will there be a two-parter where it's a row, a pull from the floor of some description at a moderate load with a handstand or an inverted wall walk or something like that into a heavy lift to kind of level the playing field from these first 2 weeks, where obviously first week, lightish dumbbell, engine-based workout. This week, a little bit of skill, obviously, with your pull-ups, chest to bar, muscle-ups, loading towards the end of the workout gets heavy, but people can still move to that point, and then it becomes a stop. Are we going to see something that then kind of gets rid of those people that are good at those two things, kind of thing? I don't want to say the short guys, but yeah, that kind of, like old man's would say, the short guys.
It's that battle that, you know what I mean? Like CrossFitters have, like, oh, short guys get this, tall guys get that.
No, I don't like that excuse. I hate that excuse because, I mean, you can be good at everything if you want to be. If you want to put the time and effort in, you can be as tall or short as you want. You can get. I know short people that are good at rowing. I know tall people that are good at handstand push-ups or gymnastics-based stuff. Heavy guys that are. It's just a case of, are you willing to put the time in to get good at that stuff?
Yeah. Well, Colton's short and he's not bad, is he? They reckon he's going to try and be sub 4 on this. I think his first attempt was just over 4, but that's just absolutely terrifying, isn't it? To even comprehend that.
Yeah. It's mind-blowing. It's mind-blowing, mate. Like, to think, like, obviously today I did it in just under 8 minutes. To think some boys are doing it twice in that time.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I'm not saying they do it twice in that time with fatigue and stuff, obviously.
Yeah.
But
that's what I love about this sport, like, or well, I guess in this context it is a sport. You know what I mean? I'll do a workout outside of you, and I can't comprehend how you've done what you've done, even though I've watched you do it. But then there's someone there that's doing it faster than you, and then there's your Colton Mertens and your people like that are doing it, and we're all doing the same thing. And it's just mind blowing, and I just love the fact that it's so relatable. Because, you know, when you play like other sport, like football and that, it's a bit different, isn't it? You're playing and you're playing the same game, but you're kind of not. But like that, you know, because it's so like individual, and you know exactly how you feel when you're trying to move as fast as you can, and then they are just light years ahead. It's just insane.
No, it's mad, man. Yeah, it's mad.
So, in terms of like the Open, then at the project, just in closing, what it must inspire you seeing so many people get stuck in and do it. Like, how does it make you feel, like seeing everyone hit the class on a Friday, put the scores in and that?
I mean, obviously we've got 3 teams, and what is there, probably 40, 45 people in each team. So there's a big chunk of, I mean, there's a big chunk of people getting stuck in on a Friday and across the weekend, coming in and doing it. Even like on a Monday today, there was a bunch of people in open gym coming in and getting the job done. And it's just nice for me. The biggest growth for people is like the opportunity to like that bit of pressure, if that makes sense. Because like some people aren't competitive, like they've never done competitive stuff before in their life. Maybe they've never competed in sport or anything like that. And I'm not saying we're overly competitive at the project, but it brings that out in people that they perhaps didn't know was there. Does that make sense? It brings that little bit of like competitive, like, and I don't care what anyone says, like everyone's looking at the board. Everyone's looking at the board. Like, regardless of who you're looking at, someone's looking at someone and going, "Ooh, I'd like to get one more rep than them." Do you know what I mean? Yeah. Like, everyone does it. You probably do it. I'll do it.
I do it when I walk in. Like, I'll see, you know, not just in the Open, any day. Like, I'm competitive with myself, but I'll also walk in, look at the board, and there'll be 2 or 3 names on there. I'm like, I want to be in and around that, and it's just good. Yeah. It's good for you because it gives you something to aim for.
Yeah, but some people aren't even like you're like that on like a regular, on like a daily, just the normal class.
Yeah.
Some people aren't like that with the normal class. They just want to come in, get a sweat on for an hour, have a good time, high five, and then, you know, like leave with a smile on the face, and the day goes on. Do you know what I mean? It's just a really small part of their 24-hour day that keeps them fit and healthy for doing things outside the gym. So for this 3 weeks of the year where it brings that side out of people, that's kind of what it puts a smile on my face, because I think it's great, and then it kind of bleeds into everything else. Then like they then start to push themselves a bit more in class, and it then carries across the year to the next Open kind of thing. So yeah, it's good, mate. It's good, and it's such a great event. Like anyone can do it. Do you know what I mean? Anyone can do it. Like the first workout's a great example. Anyone could have done that workout. Like, yeah, if you're willing to come in and have a crack and get a bit of a sweat on, you can have a good time doing it as well. Even if it is hard. Well, it is hard. It's all hard, isn't it? It's hard as you want it to be.
Yeah. And like you were saying that about that, the competitive edge. And even like you're saying, even those that aren't, when them first scores drop after the week one in the Facebook group, and you see you see it, you're like, right, next, it's just it's self-replicating then, isn't it? It's
old Chris and Molly's team floundering at the bottom.
Look at that, mate. It's not over yet. Don't be getting too cocky yet.
Only after week one, I suppose. Only after week one. So we'll see what comes out of the wash tomorrow, eh?
Yeah. Looking forward to the next one. Like I put my score in for this one. Grand total of 21 pull-ups. That was my score. 21 reps. Not a double under has been performed in the last 6 years. So I won't mind deadlifts and rowing, but that's it. So I think I'm going to be in trouble again last week. So
what do you think? What's your little prediction?
I said to you before, didn't I? Because obviously we want a skill and heavy, just some form of Diane with a row, maybe. Yeah. That'd be pretty cool. Not good for me, but cool to see. But like you said, then again, does it favour your Coltons again and people like that? But anyone should be good at anything.
Everything like those three, you put those three movements out, but without any context. Like you don't know what the pivotal point of the workout will be. Do you know what I mean? There could be handstand push-ups in it. That means you have to be able to do the skill, but it might be such in like a small number that means it's insignificant in the grand scheme of the workout. If the deadlift bar or the pulling from the floor bar is heavy enough, and the number of meters or the number of calories you do on the rower is big enough. Do you know what I mean? It depends on the construct of the workout, whether it sways in one direction or the other. I just think it's got to sway in the direction of something a little bit heavier and perhaps with a machine, as opposed to like the other way around, a big chunk of handstand push-ups that are going to, it's going to swing back in the favour of perhaps where the other two workouts have been in these previous 2 weeks.
Yeah, I'd say that's
fair. I mean, that's just my opinion. We'll see, won't we? We'll see.
Yeah. Anything before we close out, then, mate? Anything you want to call out? Anything upcoming at the project?
We've got a comp this weekend. So Saturday, you're on the mic in your happy place on the mic,
mate. Chatting shit.
Yeah. So
it's my favourite.
Project quad. So teams of 4, 2 males, 2 females, which should be exciting. We've got plenty of project teams in there. We've got a bunch of teams from the local area as well, which is always cool to get different gyms down to the project. And then I'm trying to think. I
always like, when because I could never MC and compete because one, I'm like not fit enough and I walk enough steps when I MC. It breaks me. But the workouts, like for anyone watching that's local, they're accessible to all, aren't they? They're always accessible to all, but there is such a good engine test, and it's such a good day because everybody does the same workout. There's no RX scaled elite. We're all on the floor doing the same thing, but they're just a great test. So like that's what inspired us to do what we do at Defiant Games, because I like the idea of everyone being on the floor doing the same thing. Obviously, your fittest people are still gonna do well, but then everyone's got a sort of measure and knows how far behind they are, or got something to aspire to by doing the same workout, aren't they?
We just try and keep it super simple, and we just try and keep the weights at like an intermediate level, and like you say, like the cream rises if for one for a better term, but it does regardless of load, and like the people that want to go faster can go faster, and it just hurts as much. Like you just get the work done quicker or whatever, and it means, like you say, it's accessible for pretty much everyone just to come down and have a good day, particularly in a team of 4. I mean, team of 4 is cool, isn't it? I mean, we've just recently been to CrossFit with them over in Lincoln and done their invitational, which is teams of 6, and I think it's a great event. Like there's no pressure. Like it's not not for me anyway. I just think it's a great event to get everyone down, get involved. You can get stuck in a team of 6. It's always a good laugh. Like, it's proper. Whereas you start getting sway into like individual stuff, it's, well, for me anyway, it's just not as fun anymore. I just like to have a few people to rely on. You know, when I need a break, I'm like, you can get in and do some of this.
Go and hide behind someone. Yeah, I like that, mate.
Yeah. And then obviously we've got the 12th of April. We're going to try and line up Gym Sync with obviously the Defiant Co coming down and getting some footage of the project, which will be cool. Like, it's always nice to come and show the gym off, I guess, because we've got an awesome space. We've got a great space, great equipment, great bunch of members. So yeah, that'll be fun, and the workout looks great as well. You've sent it across to me, so that'll be proper cool. It's just right up our street, which is mint.
Yeah, and it's day after my birthday, mate, so we can all celebrate together.
Yeah, we can have a shandy afterwards.
42. You won't think it, would you?
No, not a day over 30, mate.
Cheers, pal. Right, well, on that note, it's as good as it gets, so I'm going to close it, mate. So cheers for coming on, and let's hope we end with a banging 25.3, mate.
Yeah, rowing and wall balls.
Here we go. Cheers, pal.
See you in a bit.